questions as they come in too. Okay, well, welcome everyone to our Quick Start booj edition. This is actually the first time we're doing Quick Start as a booj only session. We found that doing the Quick Starts earlier in the month, really we have so many tools here at Remax that just getting started with them really makes for a really fast power hour, but we weren't having enough time to get into the booj technology and tools and the actual setup of it. My name is Michelle Hoyt. I'm Manager of Education and Development here at Remax INTEGRA, which is the Midwest and New England. However, if you're joining us from other company-owned regions, we welcome one and all, especially to come and learn about booj. So what we're going to be doing today, I know we advertise this as a 90-minute session. My goal is to get you done in about an hour 15. It depends on how many questions that you have, but we want to make sure that you're off and running. So if you are brand new to Remax and just getting started with our tools, I want to welcome you officially to Remax. You made the right choice, of course, and we have so much to offer you, and we're so glad you're here. If you're thinking about joining Remax and you're with us, please, we hope that you stay with us and you can learn all about the CRM and websites that we have here at Remax. And for those of you that are joining us that just need a refresher, I'm sure and 100% that you'll learn something today, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're going to get started. So it'll be fantastic. All right, I'm going to share and then I'm going to pull up my screen here and you should be seeing this screen right here. I am logged into Max Center. First of all, let me know that those of you that are on, feel free to ask questions throughout this session. Like I said, we're going to focus on setting up the booj CRM and we're going to focus on setting up your website. So let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know that you can see the screen and hear me okay. And please note, those of you on Zoom, there's a Q&A box and then there's also a chat box. So feel free to ask me questions there. Those of you watching us on Facebook, I welcome questions from that audience too. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, one of the things that that you may want, hello, Kate from Massachusetts. I just saw your comment. Nice to have you here. So welcome to Remax. In Max Center, so the only place and the only way to get to booj is from Max Center. And where you're going to see that is you're going to see that on remax.net. So remax.net is Max Center. Now, one of the key things in getting used to the Remax tools here is, first of all, you should use Google Chrome. And this is the best browser on your desktop for optimizing the Remax tools. Now, once you've logged into Max Center or even to the login screen itself, what I highly recommend you do is go over here to the far right and you hit the blue star as you see here. So the blue star is going to bookmark this Max Center for you. You can then add it to your bookmarks bar, as I've already done it here, but it's a really quick way to get to it. If you're using Chrome on your mobile device and you're logged in as the same Gmail address that you're using here on Chrome, you'll be able to access your bookmarks on your mobile device too. So make sure that you save Max Center. So one of the first things you want to do before you even get into booj, we did touch on this in our last Quick Start session, but I really can't stress enough how important it is to have your Max Center profile set up and complete. So once you're inside of Max Center, now your view might look a little different than mine. You may be in this view, which is home, the home page. You may also be in the apps section. Now, what we're going to focus on though is we're going to make sure your profile's set up. No matter what screen you're on in Max Center, going over here to the far right where your picture is where you want to focus. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this section right here and you're going to click on View My Profile. What does your profile look like? Well, I think it's important that you look at it. First of all, your profile is featured inside of the Remax referral directory. So I've got my demo account here set up. And if you look at this and none of this information is filled out, such as your personal summary, your hobbies, or anything else, now we need to get to work and we need to focus on this. And this is a big part of also setting up your booj website, because this information from this profile feeds into your website and your bio information that will appear there. So let's click on Update Profile. And like I said, I'm going to keep an eye on questions. I'm going to keep an eye on the chat. And hello, Facebook, those of you that are watching. So in this case, what you want to do is you want to take a quick peek. Now, we're not going to have time to go through each and every one of these because I really want to focus on booj, on your CRM and your website. But I'm going to give you homework. So this is part of your homework, is to go through and to make sure all this information is updated. What's very most important for each and every one of you is to make sure you go right here where it says MLS affiliation first. And it's important that you have your MLS connected to your MaxCenter profile. What this will do is this will ensure that your listings are associated to you on remax.com and also on the booj websites as consumers search on those offices, teams, or agent websites. So in this case, I have an MLS status live. So if yours does not say MLS status live, you can either seek assistance from our broker owners. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about support before we dive into booj, as well as Remax University. But right here, what you do is you'll click to add, and then you're going to select your MLS as well as adding your own individual number. Now, if you can't find your number, or especially if you're new to real estate, you have all these numbers that you have to keep track of, right? So if you have an active listing right now, you can also look up by your listing ID number. So if you click in here, you enter the listing ID number for your listing, it will then automatically help you set yourself up and associate your MLS and your feed with your MaxCenter profile, okay? So that's what's really important. So I want you to focus on making sure if this is not set up or if you need help, I'm going to show you where to go for tech support, where our team, our support specialists can help you. You can also go to your broker owner to make sure that you're entering the right information too, or your manager. So let's just take a quick peek at what else is in here. So it's important that you take a look at the general information. How do you want your name to appear on both remax.com and the Remax referral directory for you to get referrals from other Remax agents across the world? So this is how your name is. Let's say that you want to change how it displays. Maybe your name is Robert and you'd rather go by Rob or Bob, or your name is shown as Steven and you want to be Steve, or whatever version. If you're Susan and you'd rather go by Sue. This is where you may want to go in and change how you want your first and last name to appear. So any other information that's available, your join date. Now, a lot of this information does not display to consumers. It's more for the internal directory, but of course your name does display to consumers. So just know that. Let's look at your contact information. So this is really important. So really quick is a quick review. When you first joined Remax, you were all assigned a username. It's a remax.net email address is how it appears. Technically, there's no inbox for remax.net, but what you're going to be doing is you're actually going to be forwarding any emails sent to you at that remax.net email address will forward to your primary. So are you using Gmail, are you using Yahoo, or whatever you're using, you need to make sure that this right here where it says ISP email is forwarding to the correct place. So if this is going to a Gmail that you don't use very much and you want it to go to the new one you just set up, or some other email, you want to click here to edit. And what this is going to do is whenever someone emails you at your remax.net, it will forward to that primary. So we're going to remove this. I'm going to cancel this. But again, this should read your primary email that you check the most and get most of your emails to. Meanwhile, when you get this remax.net, you can use that for your marketing. You can use that on your business cards. You can use that on signs, just so you know you are allowed to do so. However, again, it's always going to forward. Let's talk about your social media and your website. Now we're going to show you how to set up your booj website today, and ultimately you may assign a custom domain to it. So you may not be able to do this step just yet. So, but when you get to that point, this is where you're going to add it to your profile. You're going to go in and you're going to type in an option. Now, in this case, I've got agent website already saved. So you're going to add that. You're going to choose agent website. You're going to set it up here. So make that part of your homework list to, as soon as you get your domain name, and we'll get that and show you where to find that, that you're going to add that to your profile. I highly recommend you add some social media. At the bare minimum, LinkedIn and Facebook. And again, link this to your Facebook business page, as I've already done so. You cannot do more than one Facebook link to your profile, so it needs to be your business page is my best recommendation. You could do your personal profile, but I recommend your business. And again, any other options or any other social media you want to set up. See, as you can see, Instagram, YouTube, you could link it to your YouTube channel, your Twitter. These will appear on your bio, and either both consumers and the other Remax agents can get to them. And again, this will all come over to your website for your bio block that you're going to set up to tell people about you. Phone numbers, of course, make sure your cell phone number is front and center. So make a note to go through and to edit these. One of the most important things of your profile, and really anything when it comes to personal promotion, is your headshot. And it's super important that you make sure your current headshot is a high resolution. So by high resolution, what I mean by that is usually a professional photographer will take headshots of you, and they're pretty large files. So this one needs to be anywhere between 1 megabyte and 5 megabytes. That's a really large file size. And the reason you want it to be a high quality photo is so it does not appear pixelated on either remax.com, the directory, or your website. So your headshot is super important. And again, this will help show that you're relevant and you're up to date. This is going to show on your website and every place else in between. So make sure you have a current headshot. If you don't have one, have not had one taken recently, have a coworker take a really nice headshot with your smartphone with some Remax backdrop behind you, maybe a banner or something like that, or something like what I have. And you can actually post that as high resolution until you get a professional headshot. I do recommend it's professional. Professional details. So we'll quickly run through this because this is part of your homework. This section is really important. You need to add your license number. If it's not already here, it's not showing on my demo account, go ahead and please add in your license number. If you are a broker or if you are what's considered a sales associate, please add that in here. Very, very important. Specialties. You can continue to add multiple specialties, so make a note to look at that, as well as designations. Now, office service areas. So this is where you want to, so your office, I'm in a demo account, but you should have a number of areas showing up here. So your offices can select up to 8 different service areas. What this means is when someone searches on remax.com for offices in those cities, your office will show up by default under those locations that they've chosen. So there'll be one of the offices. There could be others as well. Now you as an individual, you get to choose your additional service areas. So let's say that you are in Boston and you don't necessarily want to just have Boston as your service area. Maybe you're further out in outer lying areas. Maybe you're in Natick, maybe you're in Jamaica Plain. Whatever it is, choose those as your service areas. That's really important because when other Remax agents are searching for you in the directory, they'll be looking to send referrals to those of you in very specific towns. Pick the towns that you know the best, that you really work the most. In addition to that, when consumers search for agents by city on remax.com, you will show up as part of the agents that are offered for that particular town that they're searching for. So let me see, I have a question. So Kenneth is asking, after you add your website and Facebook, will it automatically update, or do you have to re-download them? That's a great question, Ken. Any of these updates you're doing here on Max Center, it will actually take, it could take about a day or so at the most. Sometimes it's just within a couple hours. So pay attention to the changes that you're making here. And I would say by the time we're done with this session, some of the updates you've already done could very well be showing up there. If not, I would look at that for the end of the day. So thanks for asking, Ken. That's a great question. All right, let's keep moving through. What are your, if you're in the commercial world, if you're planning to take on commercial business and you just joined Remax, please add that information here and any prior affiliations. Personal details. This is part of your homework. See how there's a personal bio? This is your story. And I want each and every one of you to write something about yourself. This is obviously very short and sweet. I was just giving an example on a previous training, but this is where you want to head with this. You want to talk about yourself as a human being. You want to talk about why you love what you do, why you're in real estate. What you want to do is talk about who you are, what you do, where you do it, and then of course, why you do it, and then more importantly, where. I would also recommend that you talk about those things that you do outside of work, such as, hey, there's camping and fishing, and I like to go camping and fishing with my family and play with my dog and those sort of things as well. So there's a little bit of background noise here. I apologize if anyone's hearing that. I'll do my best to minimize that. So there's some construction going on nearby. This is the reality of virtual training. Educational background, very important. Civic activities. Now these are going to be your, the actual charities that you're affiliated with. So this would be like if you're serving in the Chamber of Commerce or Children's Miracle Network or anything like that. As you can see, these are all things you can add to your profile. Consumers don't see this, but the other Remax agents see it in the network. So we've got hobbies, you would put those in here too, and then any languages that you speak is super helpful. So I want you to pay attention to your profile. I think it's really important that you set that up and make sure you're good to go. Again, all this information comes over, and this does feed a lot of your boosh. Now let me jump into, let's look at Max Center really quick. I want you to click on apps because everything we're talking about today, it's important that you know where to go for support, okay? So from a support perspective, what we've got here is, so what you're gonna see right here is something called, you've got the boosh of course, but this is called Remax University. And Remax University, you're probably already familiar with. A lot of what we're talking about today is you're going to have the ability to watch tutorial videos on a lot of these different features on boosh. In fact, on RU, there's a whole section, if you click here on boosh itself, you've got all these accordion files where you can actually go in and you can actually select these videos right here. So these are overviews of the system if you just want to get familiar. You've got CRM videos, which are going to be focused 100% just on the CRM. And then you've also got lots of those, marketing and website and everything else. So please know that these tutorial videos are here, as well as other systems like Design Center. But everything we're talking about today exists in short video format. Here's my best advice to you. I would like you to take the learn as you need to approach, meaning if you need to learn how to import contacts today, you're going to see how today, but let's say you don't get to it till a week from now, or not planning to for 2 weeks from now, then watch the video again at that time. So whenever you need to know something, watch the video. Rather than watching it now, not doing it till 3 weeks later, you want to be the most productive with your time and just learn it as you need to. When you're ready for it, it's here. That's my best advice. More importantly, there's a whole series of learning tracks. So when you're just getting started, kind of like what we're doing today, in a longer version at your own pace, you can take all these different learning tracks from left to right here. This will show you how to get to these, the boosh CRM, set it up, everything that we're doing today, all the way to your websites and more, okay? So that's Remax University. Something else I want to show you is support. So we have a support portal here at Remax INTEGRA, and it's maxhelpsyou.com. Now it's not showing, there's actually a tile for it, but not in this demo account that I'm in. So I'm going to type in maxhelpsyou.com, and under maxhelpsyou.com, this is an entire support portal. So if you have a question about boosh, or you're having, sometimes technology will go wrong. Maybe you look at your profile and you did some updates and nothing's showing up there and you want to know maybe what's happening with it. Sometimes you'll get an error message when you log in. I wish I could say technology was perfect every time. It's not. But right here where you click submit a request, you've actually can put in an actual help ticket. It'll walk you through the process, what the tools are, what you need to do, and you're good to go. So again, that's maxhelpsyou.com. In addition to that, you can email support@remaxintegra.com. For those of you on Zoom audience, I'm going to drop in the chat box right now. Please make a note of this, support@remaxintegra.com for all your technology questions and needs and support. That's where you go to for Integra. If you're watching from the company-owned regions, you go to product support@remax.com. So here at Remax Integra, New England and Midwest, support@remaxintegra.com. For those of you on the Zoom audience, I dropped it in the chat box. Okay, so let's jump right into the regularly scheduled program because I want to show you a couple of things. So there is a boosh CRM mobile app. So if you haven't downloaded that yet, we're going to look at that in just a second. So I just wanted to make that very clear. But one of the things that you may want to do on a regular basis is to access Max Center on the go. Now, if you've looked for a Max Center app, there isn't one. But what I'm going to show you right now is I'm going to show you how to do a mobile shortcut to get to Max Center, which is boosh, and everything else you can get straight to the full desktop version. So I'm actually going to pull my cell phone, my mobile phone up on the screen, and you're going to be able to see what I'm talking of as far as setting up a mobile shortcut to get to Max Center. And we'll be good to go here in just a second. So you should be seeing my mobile device on the screen. And what you're going to do is you're going to set up a mobile shortcut. We're going to go ahead and talk about the actual Max Center and then the Boosh CRM mobile app while we're in here. So what we've got right here, sorry, I hit a wrong button, my own fault. What you're going to see is right here in the bottom right-hand corner, it says Max Center. Now it looks like an app, doesn't it? But what you're going to do is, what I want you to do on an iPhone is to go to Safari. On Android, I want you to go to Google, please, and your Google Chrome. You're going to type in remax.net. So on Safari, I'm going to type in remax.net on an iPhone. On an Android, you're doing this on Chrome. Now, this is where saving your bookmarks or your passwords are really important, but I've already done so. You don't have to log into Max Center right now, but you will be using the same credentials. I've already done this, and it's going to ask me to log in, of which I'm about to do. But I want to show you, so you get into Max Center and everything is exactly as you see it on desktop, only a little bit smaller. So there's a menu, and when I click on apps, notice that I can get to everything and anything that I can on desktop, and including Boosh. And this is where you'll be able to get in to see a really detailed information about your leads, etc., and all these other applications. Now here's what you do to save this as a shortcut on an iPhone. There's a square with an arrow right here. So square with an arrow, you're going to click right here. And what you're going to do is you're going to move this whole view up just like this. And you're going to look for the button that says Add to Home Screen. When you click that, and again, I'm on iPhone, you're going to click Add, and it will drop it onto the end of your app, so it looks just like an app. So it's very cool. Now, those of you that are on Android, what you're going to do is you're in Chrome, and you've already you typed in remax.net. In the top right corner, you have 3 little dots. You're going to click those 3 little dots from your browser, and it's going to give you a drop-down menu. Add to Home Screen is one of those options, okay? So again, I'm showing on iPhone. When you click Add, it's going to drop it to the end of your applications, just like it did for me right here. So again, this is a mobile shortcut to all of the apps, the full desktop version, which includes Design Center and everything else inside of Max Center. And this is going to be really key when we talk about leads here in just a second on Booj and how to get to them. While we're on mobile, let's go ahead and have you download the Boosh CRM mobile app before we get started on all of that. So the Boosh CRM mobile app looks just like this. So it's navy with sort of, they look like teardrops. They're white teardrops. So go to the Google Play Store or the App Store if you've not done so already. And you're going to type in Boosh CRM. Now there's not an app for the Booj websites in case you've been looking for it. It's just Boosh CRM. So we search here. Now, of course, I already have it. So it's right here. So this is what it looks like. So please download that. Okay. And then inside of here, you've actually got, once you log in, I'm already logged in and it's saved. So when you log in, again, it's going to be your Max Center credentials. Okay. So make a note, logging into Boosh CRM, Max Center credentials. All right. So you will be able to see lead activity in here. It is limited for the most part. It's unlike the desktop version has everything, but I think it's really important that you see that you can get into this Boosh CRM mobile app. Now here's another key thing which we won't spend a lot of time on. When you're in the Boosh CRM mobile app, you're going to click in the top left corner and there's a menu, and you're going to see something right here that says branded mobile app. So when you click here and click copy, here's what we're doing. You're actually going to be able to send this unique link to anyone else via text, and it's going to be a link directly to your very own Remax search app. And what I mean by search app is they can search any property in your MLS. This app is branded to you, and anything they do on there, such as save favorites or ask questions or submit lead inquiries on any listing that they find, and this could include other Remax listings that aren't yours. You are their preferred buyer's agent. They're using your app. it's very cool. So you will get leads that way, and those will come into your booj and you'll receive them by text. So that's a lot to unpack there. I understand that. So this is being recorded. And of course, you can always go back and watch this, pause, rewind, and fast forward as you need to. But I just wanted to quickly show you the mobile components of what we're doing. Again, shortcut Max Center, download the boosh CRM mobile app, and then take advantage of the unique sharing link of your own branded mobile app inside of boosh CRM. It's very cool. I think you'll really enjoy it, okay? So I'm going to pull this off the screen, and I may come back to this at a later time while we're going through this session. So I'm going to stop this right now, and we're good to go. Let me see. I don't see any new questions coming in. So let's dive into some of these key things. So let's talk a little bit about boosh and the setup initially. When you first click on boosh, and I'm going to do that right now. Now you may have, hopefully you've already gone through the setup wizard. But if you click on this and it's asking you to accept terms and it's the first time you've ever logged into boosh, I'm going to walk you through that really, really quick. Now I've already logged in, so I'm not able to bring that setup wizard back. But what you're going to do is I'd like you to click on each screen. I want you to just simply click next and continue on every screen and fast forward until you're at this dashboard with us. So if you're kind of following along on two different screens, that's what I'd like you to do. But again, a setup wizard, if you log into boosh and ask you to accept terms and then starts taking you through steps, that means you have not logged in yet or set those up. You will see pop-up windows from time to time. By the way, please disable your pop-up blockers on your browser when you're using boosh, because sometimes some important messages come up, such as letting you know there's scheduled maintenance, also letting you know that there's new features that are available. So make sure pop-up blockers are disabled on your Google Chrome. And again, Google Chrome's the best browser. Now I have to say, I know there's some of you that are Mac users, as am I, but you can use boosh and our tools on Safari for the most part. But if you ever run into any issues with it, I would definitely try it on Chrome, because it could be that it just hasn't synced up yet with Safari. Google Chrome tends to be the best one. So one of the other things I want you to pay attention to, when you get, so those of you doing setup wizard, go ahead and power through and get to this dashboard right here. In this section right here, there's a blue question mark and you see numbers here. So what's nice is this can also tell you what's new. So there's a red announcement here. So here's some new features. Now this is from January, but anything new in here, I haven't been in this section in quite a while in my account, but that's what's going on here. It'll show you anything new that's happening. Now to get started, here's another tool. Let's say that we're going to show you how to add a contact today, but let's say that you forgot. So if you click on how to add a contact, there's this little guide right here. Notice these little windows that pop up. It'll tell you, oh, how do I add a contact? We want to click on contacts and leads. And then the next thing it's going to do, it's going to show you right here, click add or import and select add individual. Now again, this is where disabling those pop-up blockers really come into play. So you can always go back. By the way, the home screen, you just click the boosh logo. And once again, anything that you want to know on getting started. So these aren't actual guides that you download, but this is kind of showing you how to start using the CRM. It's a super helpful guide. And like I said, it shows you where to click. So it's almost like having your own personal technology trainer right there, like a virtual assistant is how this tool operates. So it's fantastic. So this will take you through all the different features. So going back to some of the others, there's a how-to guides. You know, this is going to be, again, it's going to walk you through when you're on the screen to get to these different areas. So let's take a look at that. So let's start with, first of all, notifications. Now I asked those of you that were on Setup Wizard to skip through the notifications. What you want to do is, I want to show you where to find those. So up here in the top right corner, I want you to pay attention to this and then click settings, because a lot of you, and I get a lot of questions as a trainer where agents will say to me, I'm not getting leads by text, I'm only getting them by email. Well, it turns out you may not be set up to get leads by text because you haven't enabled those notifications, or maybe you didn't put your phone number in, or maybe your phone number is one digit off like a typo. But I want to show you where to find all of that. So again, we are in our picture, top right, settings. Then we want to click on settings pages, contacts and leads. And then what we're going to click on is we're going to, first of all, go down to where it says offered leads. One of the most important things you need to do in just getting started, you must have zip codes filled out. Okay, you need to have at least one zip code filled in to be eligible for leads. So in this section, this is where you will get leads from remax.com from these zip codes. So this would include if someone's inquiring or asking for a showing on a non-Remax listing, or if the original listing agent for Remax, you get your listing leads, if that original person misses it, you have 1 hour to accept those leads, by the way. So 1 hour to accept all leads that come to you on remax.com that say accept or decline on them, you have 1 hour. So if for some reason that original listing agent at Remax missed their lead, the lead gets re-offered every 15 minutes to one person at a time. Any original lead offer that gets missed gets re-offered every 15 minutes. So in that case, what happens is the system's going to look for those of you that have signed up for zip codes to receive leads in that area. So it's fantastic because you can put in up to 10 different zip codes. Repeating zip codes will not make a difference. In the past, there may have been a system or two that we had where you could do that, but please put in 10 different zip codes. Even if you're in a smaller area, a smaller rural market, go ahead and cast a wider net for leads this year, even if it's 2 hours away, because guess what? There's other Remax 8 offices in those areas. You can always get a referral out of it. Never turn down an opportunity for residual income, okay? So just cast a wider net. You can always call the person, talk them through and say, hey, I'm gonna connect a little bit farther out of my area, but we've got a Remax office there. I'm gonna make a connection for you and I'm gonna have them contact you. And guess what? Referral fee all day long, right? So think about that. So if you're not in a busier metropolitan area where 10 zip codes is easy to fill out, still put in 10 and try that route this year. Okay, so 10 zip codes, you're gonna get leads from non-Remax listing leads, all kinds of leads, or if someone just registers for an account and they happen to be in your area, you'll get leads on those too. This section right here, you gotta be careful about because it says check the boxes for leads you do not want to receive. And this is where, you know, I know some of you don't like rentals, so you might check residential lease, but regardless, I encourage you, especially if you're new to the business, do not check any of these because you do not want to limit your leads from anywhere. Even a renter can be a buyer in a year. A renter may know buyers. You just never know where it's going to take you. One of the most important sections right here is to fill out your cell phone number. So make sure this is filled in. You don't need dashes. Notice there's no save button. So as soon as you type it in there, it's in there. It automatically saves itself. This is going to enable you to get leads by text notification, okay? So now let's jump over to notifications. And I don't see any questions coming in, so let me know, and hopefully you're able to follow along here just fine. So, okay, notifications. How the notifications work is this: how will you be notified when activities or events occur on my boosh CRM account? So, and this is all in relation to your leads and your contacts. So right here, what I'd recommend, first of all, I recommend you turn on everything because you never want to miss a lead opportunity. Now, as you see right here, it says the app. So the boosh CRM mobile app that we looked at briefly earlier, I want to let you know is going to have push notifications here in the near future. That part, our developers are working on that. It's not actually happening as of yet, but when it's complete, you will see push notifications on your phone from your boosh CRM mobile app, just like you do from other areas or other accounts, anything, Gmail, that you see notifications. So yes, your phone's going to light up even more. So check all of them just to be safe, because again, you never want to miss anything going on with your account. So let's talk through, and then of course email. By the way, web is grayed out for you because on your desktop, right up here in this section, the bells, like the bell especially, this is where you're going to see notifications show up on your desktop. By default, those are always turned on, so you at least are getting those somewhere. The only two that offer text message is when a lead is assigned or offered to you. That's pretty much the most important thing that you want to be notified of, text notification anyway. So that will actually be texted to you, it'll be assigned to you and offered to you. Let's talk through what some of each of these are. So contacts and leads referred or transferred to me. So there will be a way, and I will show you. Let's say that you actually have a referral. A client of yours comes to you and they say, hey, I want to buy a second home in Florida, or I'm moving to Florida, or something like that. What you can do is you can actually go in here and you can transfer that person or refer them to a remax agent in Florida. And you can do it right here inside of booj, which is very cool. When someone does that for you, someone refers or transfers a contact for you, you'll get a notification. So that's what that's for in these first two. So they'll either share it with you or they will just automatically transfer it, meaning it goes out of their CRM and it goes right into yours. And there's a couple different ways to get that. PBA means preferred buyer's agent. Consumers have a choice. They can choose to work with you on both remax.com desktop, and they can choose to work with you by using your boosh CRM, your Remax branded search app. So remember when we were in the boosh CRM mobile app and it said share my branded app? That's your own version of the search app. So share it with someone who doesn't have the Remax app installed on their phone. You'll get to see how it works. Maybe share it with your significant other or someone in your family. But when someone updates it though, you will be notified. So there's a chance they could choose to not work with you and choose another Remax agent. I hope that doesn't happen, but you get a notification. So at that point, you may want to pick up the phone and just say, hey, I just want to see how things are going. Use this information very carefully, but it's also a great way for you to realize that, uh-oh, I better pay attention to this person. So it's a great way to go about that. So leads assigned to you, of course, will come by email. You can import your contacts and export your contacts out of here, and you can be notified when those are complete, okay? So pay attention to those and how that works. While we're in this section, again, we are in settings, settings pages, and contacts and leads. So under tags, I think this is really important to talk about. A full CRM, client relationship management system, gives you the ability to categorize and group your contacts so that you can message them all appropriate to who they are to you. So you're going to have groups of people that you know really, really well. Maybe it's a networking group or it's a parents group if you have kids in school activities, and you're going to message them completely different than you will a group of random strangers from online leads, right? So you want to think about giving all these different groups different categories so that you can sort through them and you can message accordingly. Now there are some system default assigned tags or categories to your contacts, and they're all listed right here in gray. And you will not be able to edit those colors or anything that they say because they're just system default. You'll notice I've got quite a few in here that are different colors. And these are ones that you can make up. Like, let's say that you happen to know that you're in your parents group. So right up here where you click add tag. So we're going to say this is the parents soccer group. It could be your book club, whatever it is, parents soccer group. And what color do I want this to be, just so it stands out to me? Well, Remax added more colors than ever. So let's choose, I like salmon. We're going to click salmon. We're going to click add tag. So now every contact that I enter into my boosh CRM, I have the option to add this tag or any of these tags that are on this list. So where was my parents group? Let's look. I'm going to go to the next page. There it is, parents soccer group. Oh, I guess I used salmon already. There's different colors. It's like a box of crayons. So it's really good. Let me know if there's any questions with that, but it's really important that you are tagging and categorizing your contacts. And I'll show you where that really does pay off. So those are some of the main things. Let's talk a little bit about integrations. So integrations, in the future, this will be Gmail, this will be Outlook Sync, but there's another place I want to show you. We're going to go up here. You can actually have leads from your realtor.com and your Zillow account come right into your boosh CRM, so you don't have to automatically enter them. So you want to go up here to the circle with your picture. You want to click settings, and then you want to click settings pages again, and then you want to click system. So in this section, first of all, it's giving you an idea where you can find additional services that are available for integration with your boosh account. There's also a place on Max Center called Marketplace where you can find that as well. But under lead forwarding, if you're getting leads, whether it's organically or paid from any of these three sources, click here to follow the instructions to connect this account with your boosh CRM. So again, what this means is when you get leads from those platforms, they will go to your email, but they'll also get automatically uploaded to your boosh CRM. It avoids having to type those in manually, so definitely pay attention to those. You can also integrate if you use BombBomb Video Email. That is a paid product. It's a preferred supplier of Remax. And generally speaking, if you're to use it unlimited with Remax content and everything that comes with BombBomb Video Email, which is a super great way to stay in touch with people, you can connect this, meaning you'll be able to send emails and pull up your video library right here inside of your boosh account. So make a note to look into BombBomb if you've not chosen BombBomb as a potential source for keeping in touch with your database. It's highly recommended. So in this case, then the last thing, which we won't have time to get a lot into, but you can integrate your paperless system with your boosh account. So then, because you can manage your deals on both your buy and list side inside of boosh, there's lots of videos on those inside of Remax University, but you can connect, as you can see, DocuSign.loop or the zip forms. So if some of you have this, you're using this on a regular basis, you cannot connect more than one, because I know some of you use zip forms with the MLS and then your office has an account with DocuSign. So it gets a little confusing, but what you're essentially doing is you're creating this integration so that when you set up a deal inside of boosh, it's going to sync information over to that paperless platform. Okay. So just make a note to look further into that. Again, there's more videos on that, and also make a note to look into the Remax marketplace. All right. So we talked about setting up. We talked about how to set up your main notifications. Let's talk about the contacts themselves. I want to make the most of your time. So, all right, so I have some contacts loaded in here just because, just for demonstration purposes. And what you're going to be able to do is, now yours may say 0 at this point, but here's what I want to encourage you to do. If you're new to real estate, I want you to start thinking about where all of your contacts are located, okay? So maybe they're located, think about your phone. How many contacts do you have on your phone? If you don't know how to extract the contacts off your phone, especially iPhone, there's plenty of instructions. I found several videos on YouTube on how to do it, or reach out to me. I do have some instructions on how to do it, mhoyt@remaxintegra.com. I'll be happy to share those instructions with you on how to get those off of your iPhone and onto a CSV file. For those of you on Android, it's really simple. It's your Gmail contacts, and you can just export those. So get those into what's called a comma separated value or CSV file. Think about old email addresses where you're storing contacts. Maybe you have an old Excel spreadsheet running that you use for your Christmas card list every year, but get everyone that you know in the right place. If you're joining us from another brand, you probably have contacts on the back end of the MLS. So grab those and get those exported out so you can get everyone that you know into your boosh CRM and start using this as your primary CRM, okay? And again, that stands for Client Relationship Management System. So let's talk about contacts. So let's click right here where it says add or import, and we're going to look at importing a list. Now remember, that's part of your homework. Where is everyone? Where are all my contacts? I want to get them all in one place. And that's great. Now, there are some external CRM programs that are industry related that some of you are using that do integrate, meaning if I connect my boosh account with my external CRM, it's going to bring all of those contacts into boosh. I'm going to show you which ones they are. So you've got Boomtown, which some of you utilize for lead generation SEO as well as lead management. Chime, same thing. Follow Up Boss, which some of you use as Teams, and then Top Producer, which is one of the industry's longest CRMs. So again, what you do is you click on the platform. If you're using this, it will then ask you to log into that platform so that you can get your contacts from that platform into the boosh CRM. Now, if you don't have anything externally, that's okay. What you want to do is you click here. So let's say you get all of your contacts in one place, get them into a CSV file. So you're going to click right here. Now, obviously it's only going to scan. So see right here, I've got attendee. This is a sheet that I happen to know is already in CSV format, and I'm going to click next. Now, I only have names and email addresses on these. When you import a CSV file that has several column headings on it, such as address, mailing address, and zip code and everything else, all of those will show up here. There's actually a really good video on Remax University on importing contacts that I really think you should maybe take a look at. So right here, you know that this is all going to work, and then I'm going to click import. But before I do that, by default, it's actually going to tag the contacts as today's date, okay, which is fine, but you may want to take it a step further. Like, remember I was saying, when you're importing these contacts, let's say that these happen to be from a specific event. Maybe it's a golf outing. You can actually assign multiple contacts. So let's say this is my golf outing. And I happen to know that, let's see, these are, I went golfing with several attorneys. So this is a golf outing and these are my attorneys, and it'll tag these contacts with golf outing, attorney, and today's date. And then maybe I want to add, oh, it's a celebrity golf outing. Let's change that. There we go. So if you think this is a brand new one, like let's just say it's a special list, you could just say this is my old Yahoo account, Yahoo contacts, and you hit enter, and it's going to automatically add that tag here, and it's going to add it to that big list like we did earlier. So it works out really well. So then you want to click import, and it's going to confirm again what it is that you're trying to import. Omit the first row from import. Usually that's the header, right? The first name, last name, email, as it's showing here. Then of course, what are the additional tags? It's just confirming what you want to do. And then how many fields to be included. In this case, it's first name, last name, email. And then how many rows. In this case, there's 1,000 of them. I'm not going to actually do this because my demo account's got a lot going on. As far as I know, by the way, there's no limit on how many contacts you can put in Boosh. So that's up to you how many you want to put in there. As it says, this action cannot be undone. Well, technically it could. That's why tagging them is important. If you accidentally import them and then you want to go back and delete them, I'll show you how to search by tag. So you click import and they will all drop in, and then you'll see that number change. Because remember, if you had 0, that's going to be easy. So if I had 0, my number would change to 1,000 or whatever my number was. So if you already have a few in here, that's what you do. Now, let's say, like I said, you want to go back and search for those. What you can do is, this is what you'll love about the Boosh CRM, is that you can actually set up filters to search your database for certain criteria. Now, remember, we had tags as one of the options to tag them. So now it's got tags, and it added that as an option. So if I want to search here for, remember, I chose attorney and I chose celebrity golf outing. So it's going to pull up whatever I just imported. Or like I said, you know, I made up my own list. What was that third one? I see, I already forgot what I did. So pay attention better than I did. But yeah, so you can add your own tag and then you're good to go. But it will show up on here. So see how the system already filtered these for me, which is great. Let's add a different one. We'll just add, oh, parents soccer group. That was a new one. Open house. Parents group. Let me just choose another one. I'll just do golf outing. Okay, so there we go. I'll just do regular golf outing. So now that's going to pull up even more. But now, how do I export these? Have you been looking around for the export button and wondering where it is? Or maybe you put in a ticket and you're not sure? Well, what you have to do to get the export feature to show up is you have to select at least one contact over here. And see how the export button shows up? But remember, I did a search by tags of these actual features. And if I want to select all, so remember I'm searching, and it says right here, all contacts on this page, if you want to select all 855, then you're good to go. Now I can click export, it'll drop them into a CSV file. And again, you can use them for whatever purpose. Maybe you want to do a mailer or upload those to Facebook for ads, or you want to upload them to a postcard mailer company that you work with also. Now here's something else. You can always mass add tags later. I'm just going to uncheck this and undo what I did. So again, you have to select at least one contact to get the export button to show up. Otherwise, it's not there. Let's talk about adding one contact at a time. We're going to keep moving on. You're going to click Add Individual. And this is where you add one person at a time. Now, a contact is someone that you're actually working with and know. A lead is typically what you're going to enter at first for this particular person. So let's say that you did an open house and you have a sign-in sheet and you want to go ahead and enter those into here, or you can export those in if you did them on a CSV file. Pretty much anything you can think of. You just met someone, you had an outing, you had an event, you had a walk-in lead. If you're doing floor time, this is where you want to enter those contacts and go from there. Now, remember I mentioned that you can transfer someone or share them if you get a referral, or if your client comes to you and says, I want to go buy a home in Florida. So I'm just going to choose, I'm going to click one person here, and you have to open up the client record. There's a whole lot of information. I want you to really write as your homework to study all the information inside of the client record, because this is really important when you get those leads. But you go over here to actions and see where it says send and share. What you want to do is click send. And this is where you can actually type in, after you talk to the person and found them in the Max Center directory, you can actually type that agent's name in. So I happen to know this is a Florida agent. And there he is. Oh, he just disappeared. I guess I typed too. There he is. So I happen to know Chris is a Florida agent. So here I am in the Midwest, and I was able to find an agent anywhere in the network in the US. So now you can't use this globally. Boosh is not global, it's in the US only, but you can use it within US referrals. So if you refer someone, what'll happen is their contact information stays in your CRM, and then it goes to the other CRM on the other side. If you make changes to the record, it will now reflect on their end and vice versa. So this way it's in both of your accounts. You still have their information. You can always keep in touch with them, and they always know people in the area. Now, if you transfer it all together, that's where you're sending it to the receiving agent, and it completely removes it from your CRM. Now, the only time you may want to do this is, let's say that either you're on a team and you want to forward this lead to another team member that wants to work with this person, or you don't have time to work with this person and you're just sending it off to them and it becomes their client. It could also be just another agent in your office. Accept all your leads. Again, if you're too busy, or you determine that maybe this is a better fit for another agent in your office, then you can transfer it over, whatever it is. So that's absolutely something you can do. Now, that does take that person out of your CRM, cannot be undone, and it goes into that other agent's CRM and it's theirs forever. So I'm actually not going to do this. I'm going to cancel this, but that's a really important detail to note. Now, when you receive leads, it's really important that you look at the lead and go right here where it says inbox, because under the inbox, this will actually show you if the client or the lead asked a question. And that would show up under here. It would show a red number and it'll say inbox. And it could say they requested a showing. It could be a specific question. It could just be some general comment, but it's important that you read that before you contact the person. So jump in here into their record and go by inbox. Now, if you want to go into your contacts, let's say you've got quite a few contacts in here and you just got a lead. By default, that lead you just got will not automatically be the first one at the top of your list. So just know you can use these almost like an Excel spreadsheet. You can actually sort by column. So see how I use this arrow to put in the most recent. Now I haven't been using, so there we go. So you got to use the top arrow to go to the most recent. So it will sort them by that. So in this case, 8-3 was, this is a demo account, was the last time a lead was actually put in here brand new. And this is either manually entered or coming in from remax.com. Now under source, you can actually search your database by source. If you want to see what kind of lead you're getting from remax.com, those will show up here too. Okay. So I'm just going to take a quick peek. I don't see any questions coming in. Thanks for hanging with me. I hope you're picking up some good nuggets here. So we talked about importing contacts, adding individuals, and all of that. So like I said, make sure you're set up for text message, because those will be accept or decline. When it comes to getting those leads, never decline them. You're never too busy for leads. Just always live by that mantra. So again, now you know how to transfer it if you are too busy, and maybe you get a referral out of it. There you go. All right, so a couple other things to pay attention to is, so we've got the campaigns features in the CRM. We're gonna dedicate the last part of this session to websites. I know some of you are anxiously awaiting. So in this case, campaigns. So there's a whole huge library of content templates. So when I click here, I want you to take note to click on the template library to see what kind of marketing templates are set up here that you can send to your database. There are newsletters, and there are, you know, other special things like this one, First Day of Fall, which was obviously last week. But right here, if you want to send out, it's September's almost over. So the October newsletter should be showing up here sometime in the next week. Someone from Remax marketing team already creates this, and they already set it up for you. So that's the best part, is that you don't have to do a thing. You don't have to do any spell check, and you're good to go. So we're going to let this load in just a second. So this is in preview mode, but I want to make sure you know these are editable. So you, in fact, I encourage you, I think in most of your states it's required you display your brokerage logo. So you can upload your brokerage logo. So it's not just Remax, it's Remax Encore or Remax 360 or whatever the name of your brokerage is. You can edit all of this. The headline, I've actually seen agents adding videos in here, dropping in sort of a bomb video of themselves. And again, there's great videos on Remax University on how to do that, but I will show you how to get into it. The editing of these is very similar to the websites. Okay, and your signature is at the bottom. So that's kind of what that looks like. The best way to set to, and there's a lot of them, by the way, this is just showing 5 per page. So when you change this, there's home improvement templates, there's messaging geared towards renters, they're going to continue to add more and more of these that are in here. There's even a template on asking for reviews from your client. And as you can see, social distancing and virtual things and holidays and themes. So really pay attention to what's going on inside of here so you can start messaging your database for sure. So to set one up, so by the way, drip campaigns, in case you're not familiar with that term, if you're new to real estate, it's like a faucet's dripping and you're constantly touching people. So the automated drip campaigns are in development right now. They have been for quite some time, and they're being perfected, and those will be released pretty soon. And what that means is that's where you can set individuals or lists up on specific plans where they're getting touched automatically by the system. And the best way to do it right now, though, you can still click over here where it says single, and then you want to click add campaign. So in this section, what you want to do is name this. We'll just say this is September newsletter. And we're going to go 2020 version. I'm going to do version 2 because I think I already saved it that way. No, I'm going to leave it that way. Okay, now this is actually going to be a single send off, and I'm going to click build. When drip campaigns are available, that won't be grayed out. So now I'm going to select a template. And as soon as I select the template, you'll see it's going to then prompt me to start editing this or to leave it like it is. But it's going to drop this in here, and then I can start editing. Again, remember, if I want to go in and I want to, oops, I didn't mean to do that. If I want to go in here and I want to start editing images, I can start doing that. I can edit the text. I can also add more logos and images and go from there. So like I said, watch the videos on how to set these up. We're just going to do save and continue and not get too granular with editing that. And now it's ready to go. And what we need to do now, I always recommend sending a test to yourself. And then also you can do a quick send now and then adding recipients. So right here, what you can do is you can set up recipient lists ahead of time, or you can click right here where it says add. Now a smart list, I want you to take some time to go through this. The basic list is going to be as it says. This is a really specific group. Maybe these are from open house. Maybe these are from just a golf outing or something that you did. If you want to do a smart list, this is where utilizing tags and filters like we did earlier. So this gets a little bit more advanced, or maybe it's a certain zip code. Hopefully you have addresses. If you just want to send it to everyone, especially if it's a holiday themed message, like a fun one like St. Patrick's Day or Halloween, then you can send that out to everyone. I don't recommend you just sending an email out to everybody all the time because your open rates won't be that great, but you also want to be more targeted with your messaging as you're sending these out. And then if you have a saved list, you can also click there to do the saved recipient list. So again, there are some really good videos. Take a look at those and how to go through that process. The last thing I want to point out is listings or listing manager. Now I have a demo account, so I don't have listings showing here. But if you have listings right now and you click on the listings manager tab, this will show all of your active listings. You can go into each one. You can add a virtual tour under the media section. If it's not brought over from the MLS, you can manually add an open house. You can also see the syndication where your listings go to, like Zillow and Design Center and homes.com. So make a note to look at those. And lastly, under the reports, this is where you set up a seller report. Now I know homes are selling so fast right now in some of your markets that you don't have time to get this out, but this will show a seller the virtual views and click-throughs on remax.com. So that's super important that you know. Again, check out the resources available to help you learn more about that and how to add the seller report. It shows you can go through sending one at a time, you can go through templates and everything. So let me know if there's any comments or questions on that. Let's get into the websites. So under the website, I want you to click on dashboard. So one of the things is if you have not published your website yet, then you may not, your view is going to be a little bit different than mine. But I have published this, and the way I know this is over here on the far right side. Publish means the website's live. That means it's active, people can find it, they can search on it, I can promote it, all that good stuff. When you hit the publish button, you will automatically be assigned by Remax this domain name. So see how mine's testagent17.remax.com. Yours will say your username.remax.com, your username being the Remax one you've been assigned. So like my email is mhoyt@remax.net. My domain name is mhoyt.remax.com. So that's what yours is going to be by default. Now to see what your site looks like, you should publish it. And by the way, Remax has already provided out-of-the-box content for you. So you can actually turn your website on right now and it's good to go. Now that is only if your MLS information is set up on your Mac Center profile. This is where it's really important, okay, to know why you needed to do that, because then you have IDX or internet, you have the data exchange feed to your website so consumers can search. Now this is what mine looks like right now. So I chose an image that is more transparent and the search bar is front and center. So I have search. I actually added a video of my own welcoming people to my website. Here's my bio. Yours will look very similar. Remember all that stuff I put on Mac Center, it came over. I had LinkedIn, I had Facebook, and I had, yeah, all of that will be there. And there's my bio. I also put Zillow reviews, and I also put social media. So see, these are just some of the things that you can have on here. One of the more popular ones that agents have is what's called featured listings. So that's where you can actually feature, if you don't have listings of your own, you can feature listings from your office. And we'll talk through that setting. Now, before you close this tab, so again, open up your website. Again, bookmark this by coloring in the blue star so that you always know how to get to your website. Because a lot of you have asked me in the past, how do I get to my website? Without having to go through all these steps and go into Boosh, just always have it bookmarked on your Chrome, which will also transfer over to your Chrome app on your mobile device. Okay, so let's go back to the website. So here's what I recommend. Leave this open and then go back to the website so you can kind of work and refresh. And some of the changes, by the way, when you're making changes on your website, it may not show up for 30 minutes or so. It just depends on what they are. I've noticed some show up right away and some take about 30 minutes. But before we get into the homepage editing, let's quickly go down this menu of your website and what's available. Now, pages. You can have unlimited pages on your website. Now, what are pages? If you go back to your website, anything you see in the menu here that shows up on this side, these are all pages. Now, some of these I created custom, but you already see pages that are set up for you by Remax. Again, this makes it super easy for you to just launch your site and go, and then you customize and build as you go, which is the fun part. But at least you have a website. By the way, this domain name you've been assigned by the system, your username.remax.com, you can use that on business cards. Agents are doing that. They're sharing that with their clients, and you can put it on signs, business cards, whatever you need to do. So you can use that. That's your domain. I do encourage you to think about a custom domain, maybe something like moving to Milwaukee.com. I'm sure that's taken already, but go to GoDaddy.com and get creative and think about coming up with a custom domain. Work with your manager, your broker owner. I bet they can help you come up with a good one. and not just your name, because if you have a common name, that's probably going to be taken already. So, or one of our name that people commonly misspell, I would definitely do something a little more related to what you do. So real estate agent Milwaukee, that could be your, you know, maybe that's not taken. So if you're from Milwaukee, take a look at GoDaddy and hopefully you get it. So, all right, pages. So we've got under pages, again, I've done a lot here. I've been playing around with this a lot, but you can create a page dedicated to just your area. There's a lot of your peers that are getting really creative, and they're putting videos, they're adding content and doing write-ups and blogs all about their area. They're showcasing certain areas, golf courses, things to do. Like you could have a whole page on things to do in Waukesha, Wisconsin, wherever you're from, right? And you can do a lot. So just make a note, this is where you go to add a page. You just click right here. If you want to start from scratch or choose a template, you have that option to do so. So unlimited pages. Navigation. Now remember the blue menu items that we looked at. So these right here, blue menu items, including the order that they're in, those are located under navigation on your website. So on your website, you can do a couple of things. So if you want to move things around, you just hover over one of them and you just hold it and move it around. So move things, put them in different orders. Any custom pages that you've created, or in any page for that matter that you created, will show up here on the left-hand side. It's called an unlinked page because that means it's not active on the active navigation side. You can just simply move one over once you create it. By the same token, you can actually go, so let me move this one, my virtual services. So when I move it over, I can move it wherever I want. I just dropped it at the bottom. So now I can put it wherever I want in whatever order. You can do these little drop down or these sort of sub menu items. So for instance, see where it says preferred partners and what's the other one? Resources. So maybe I want my virtual services to show up under resources. You have to practice this a couple of times. When I did it, it was, first time I did it, it took me a few tries. Hey, no, did it work? Nope, there it is. It worked, yay. So like I said, you just have to practice. So now I want my virtual services will show up under resources. Now, when I click here, it's unlikely gonna show up right away, but I refresh the page. Let's say I wait 30 minutes or so. And if it shows up there right away, then that's exciting, but it's unlikely to because it's too soon. So I just refreshed the page. Now I'm gonna click the menu again, and under resources, see it's not there yet. So it'll take a little bit. So be patient is all I ask. As you can see, I've done different things with school districts and searching by county, so there's a lot you can do. We're gonna walk before we run. Testimonials. So templates we looked at, which were part of, by the way, pages. If you click here, it takes you to that. Different layouts for your pages. Testimonials. Now, there's a block that you can set up to set up your Zillow reviews, but any other reviews from other platforms, you can copy and paste and add here into this testimonial section. Now you have to add them here first before you can display them on your website, okay? So you don't just choose the testimonial block. You have to make sure that you are setting them up here first. Here's a little tip I have for you. Notice that there's a date where they're updated or where they were most recently added. So the author would obviously be the name of your client, the testimonial, and you can copy and paste it if you want. What I recommend, because consumers love recent reviews, if you look at all the studies about that, in fact, I've read that if someone sees a review that's 3 months or older, it's too old. That's just how people are today and what they respond to. So if you put your testimonial in here, let's say it was from 3 months ago, you can put the date in. I mean, just let people know, or maybe it was from last week and it was on realtor.com. You want to definitely put the testimonial in, and then I would say type in the date right after that so that people know exactly when. They want to see when this was done. They want to know that you didn't just make these up and that you can even put the source. You could say via realtor.com and the date and the month, and that way they're legitimate, and that does have an impact on what people are reading. So all good stuff. Let's look at domain manager. As I recommended before, I encourage you to seek out and to get creative with an actual domain name for your area. So not specifically to your name, but something that you think people would type in as a common search term to look for real estate in your area or real estate agents. I love doing this in training. I've helped a lot of you with this. So some of you that are watching and some of you that are watching on Facebook, always happy to brainstorm some ideas. So reach out to me and I'll be happy to help you. I've been doing this for years. And like I said, it's a lot of fun. And, some of you have multiple domains. I would not do that if you're new to the business. I would just focus on one at a time and then go from there. But when you get a domain name, here's what I'd like you to do with it. I want you to reach out to our support team. So remember maxhelpsyou.com. You can submit a request to go ahead and set up domain name, set up my domain name. Now what'll happen is an article will pop up, like a knowledge article, that will tell you how to do it yourself if you so are inclined. You don't have to, but our tech team will do that for you. So when you get that domain name, you're going to you can send it to them. They're going to need your login credentials. I do recommend GoDaddy.com is the best source for registering a domain. You enter it here, and then it gives you some back-end instructions on what to do on your domain name. So like I said, this might get more advanced, or you don't want to take the time. Our support team will do it for you. You do have to provide them with your login credentials to GoDaddy. So once that's added, it will show up here. It'll say published and yes. Okay. All right. So the last thing I want to show you under settings, under website settings, this is when it comes to registration on your website. I know that we're competing with the likes of Zillow and other real estate search platforms out there that don't require registration. So it's up to you if you want to. You can do something like in this case where it says restricted. Let's say that you set a threshold. If someone looks at over 30 listings on my website, then I'm going to ask them to register. That's probably a good lead. See how you are in control of how visitors have their experience on your website. So if you don't want to have any restrictions, they can browse freely, they can leave freely. But if someone's looking at this many listings on your site, this might be a viable contact or viable lead that you can actually sort of, I guess, vet out the seriousness of them by having this turned on in this instance. Now, this is also really important. This box right here, I encourage all of you to check off. If there's not enough listings to fill my listing block, your listing block is featured listings. That typically will show your 6 most recent listings. Now, if you're in a situation, again, like a fast selling market where you know listings are selling really fast and you're carrying only 1 or 2 at a time, your featured listings block is going to look kind of empty and not very active. And you don't want that. So it will always have 6 listings in it. One of them might be yours, but 5 might be just generally from the office and the other agents. So you can turn this on and you can help promote listings for your other peers in your office. But that way it's all active and busy, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, let me see. I see a couple questions that have come in. How do you put your custom domain page in action? Oh, I did just answer it. Okay, thanks, Kate. I'm glad to help out. See, that was easy. We're right thinking alike. All right, so let me know if there's any questions on anything else. And looks like we're covered all the questions there. Hello, Facebook audience. In case you have any questions, let me know. We're going to start wrapping up here in just a moment. But all right, so we're focusing on the website. Let's go back to the home page. Let's get creative a little bit here, and let's talk about some ideas for your home page. So you want to go to get to your home page, you go to website and you go to dashboard. And that's exactly where I'm located right now. As a quick side note, do you see where it says mobile app branding, by the way? Once you hit publish, you will have the ability to share. Remember way back at the beginning, we talked about sharing your personally branded Remax search app to clients where they can search and you get notified of all their property events. So in this case, you could actually type in anyone's cell phone number here and you can hit text and it will text them your unique mobile URL link, again, for your branded search app. So you can do it from the CRM app, you can do it from here on desktop. There is another way where you can share it from inside of the Remax app. But more importantly, use these tools to promote your own mobile app. So it'll keep them from wandering off to other places to search, or maybe ending up with another agent, or unfortunately at another company or something like that. Have them use your search app. Tell them, I want to make it easy for you. I'm going to text you a link to my very own Remax search app. Use this ask questions, favorite properties. I'm going to get notified every time. So we'll be on the same page. All right. That's my little side note, my side trip off of the website. Okay, so let's get back to this. Again, we're in website and dashboard. And what you want to do is you want to focus on the layout. Now, the overall layout of the home page, when you click change home page, this is not where you go to edit the content, but this is where you go to edit the overall layout of the actual home page. And this takes a minute to load. Now, I've actually done a lot of, you're not going to have as many choices here as my demo account shows here. But I want to choose, I happen to be on agent search layout. The check mark is here. So what that means is the focus is on, and the spotlight is on the search bar. It's on top of the main header image and it's good to go. Now, if you choose the agent social layout, you'll notice the search bar goes below and the image becomes brighter if you want to do it that way. Okay. So if you choose it there, and you do that. So choose your layout. So do this very first. Here's a little tip I have for you. If you choose a layout and then you go in and start building the content and then you change your mind about the layout and go back and change your layout, it will automatically reset and you'll have to start over with content. So be very sure of the layout that you want, but I'm going to show you how mine's going to start over. So just like with before, making these changes is not going to automatically happen in real time. And it doesn't always bring over the same content you already had. Like I said, in this case, you may have to start over. Excuse me. All right. So I changed the layout. So let's click now where it says edit. Edit agent social layout. So that means edit the content in the home page. Change home page equals layout, just layout. Edit agent social layout is going to take me into the content itself. So luckily it did keep my content, or, okay, no, it didn't. I was just playing around with this. So if you did use this layout previously and you revert back to it, it's going to have the same content you had there before. And each time you go back and forth. So there's not a way to have the exact same content on every single layout unless you just duplicate it every time. So let me just go ahead and get rid of some of these because I want to show you. Now, some of you might open this up and there's already content provided. So I'm going to get rid of this. The way you get rid of a block is you just hit the trash can. And that'll take care of that. And then you want to get rid of this. So I'm basically going to start over. Here's the tips I have for you to not overcomplicate the homepage and to keep it really simple, especially if you're just getting started with Boosh and all these tools that we have available to you. I want you to keep your homepage basic to 4 items. I want you to think about search, about you, featured listings, and how to get in touch with you. Okay, one more time. So search, about you, featured listings, and how to get in touch with you. I want you to keep it simple right now and try not to get too overwhelmed by all of this. Now you'll notice what's going on here on the left-hand side are these are content blocks. So right here, I've got the header image and it's got the search right here. This item is the bio. So this is the bio block. Okay, this is, and you could even call this about me. If this makes more sense to you to say about me, you can rename this. You simply click this block, you go to block details and change this to about me. Because you might go back and look at this a week from now and you're going to be all confused on what block is what. Save changes. And I'm going to go back. And now look how it says about me. So those of you that are watching that I may be just trying to get refreshers, you can rename these items. So this is search, this is about you, and now we need to add featured listings. So I'm going to, in this case, I actually have a demo account, so I don't have a live feed going on here, but these will show up. Let me just go ahead and get rid of these and see if I can get something to show up there. And this has been updated. So remember, search, about you, featured listings. Featured listings are right here. And again, it says these are your top 6 most recent. Now, again, if you don't have 6 of your own, it will bring those over from the office. So I'm going to save that. And like I said, I don't know what will show up on my behalf because, yeah, this is a demo account. The next thing is how to get in touch with you. Okay. Couple different ways to go about that. Your social media. So you want to click add block, and then you want to go right here where it says social media. Now by default, when you set up social media, it's going to bring in the feeds from Remax LLC content. So from the world headquarters, it's actually a great way to go. I've already done some customization here with the Remax INTEGRA page that's showing up here. So anytime, whenever you set up these blocks, and if it's on one layout or a page and then you add it to another page, it's going to go with the default that you've already set up. So yours might say Remax LLC. Either way, you can link this directly to your business page. In order to do that, you would need to make sure use Remax profile is unchecked. So if yours is checked off like this, it ends up being Remax content. So I'm going to hit this little blue arrow right here. So see how it says Remax? But when I uncheck this, now I can personalize. Since I've already done this once, it just dropped in my business page for INTEGRA. And then I'm going to click this blue arrow and it's going to switch that back over to Remax INTEGRA. In your case, you're going to open your business page on Facebook. You're going to copy that URL and you're going to drop it in here. And you do want to display it. This is turned on. This green toggle always means on and visible, and display feed. Twitter is always going to be the Remax unless you have it going directly to yours. You just change it out by unchecking it and then entering your own. And then it probably isn't a bad idea to show that Remax is extremely social, and we have a lot of social outlets. So as you can see up here, right now this is linked directly to my personal profile on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook up here, but I can also go ahead, just turn on these toggles. These will go directly to the Remax YouTube channel, the Remax Instagram, but this really does display nicely and it'll show consumers that you're socially connected. Okay, so whatever changes you do, then hit save. Remember, again, if you uncheck use Remax profile, you have to do that first in order to add your own personal social links. Okay, so we're good to go. The featured listings won't show here because it's a demo account, but yours will show up. And then we're going to click right here on how to get in. So this is all part of how to get in touch with you. They can connect with you on social media, or if you choose this contact form, I'm going to choose that. Now it's going to ask me what's the title text. And I just want to say, you know, either something like connect with me today or contact me today. And then hit save. So this is a very simple, basic homepage to help you get started. Search, bio, so search about you, featured listings, which will show on yours, and how to get in touch with you, which includes social media and a contact form. Let me know if there's any questions or if that was helpful, because we're going to start wrapping it up in general. Anything? Okay. Hello, Facebook. Thanks for staying with us for sure. So just some key things about the websites. Again, you can get very custom with these. I'm actually going to show you a really good example. I'm super proud of this person. She works very, very hard on her website. This is JimLeeHarris.com. So Jim Lee, if you're watching, she's in Minnesota. She's a manager, helps her agents incredibly on a daily basis, but also is doing real estate on her own. And she's done a lot of customization to her site. None of this really costs extra. You just have to get free resources. You can create images in Canva, and you can kind of go and see some of the things that she's done. I did want to show you the photo library. So see this image right here on this particular page. If you click right here on the header image, you click the actual block. If I want to change this image, I can. I click the pencil and then I click the image, and you'll see there's actually over 400 already preloaded images in your library. You can also add your own, but you can search by topic. So let's say I want this to be, we'll say a lake. Anything in here that's tagged with a lake, and I've already got that one on there, I can put in there. If I want to do kitchen or an exterior, let's do kitchen. Any photo that's got kitchens in it, it will switch over for me. So we're going to go modern kitchen. And all you have to do is click it right here and click insert. And now there's your new image. and then you hit save. I'm going to leave my balloon up there because I like the balloon. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Let me know if there's any last call for questions. Thank you so much for hanging with me on this longer session than we normally do for Quick Start, but let me know if this was helpful, if there's, you know, you want more, want to cover more down the road. I love your feedback because, again, this is the very first Quick Start boosh edition that we've done, and I really appreciate you tuning in, and good luck with everything. Welcome to Remax. Best wishes on boosh. If you're in the Midwest, I'd love to hear from you and how you're doing. If you're in New England, my counterpart, Maureen Colvin, is there. Thank you, Calvin, and thank you, Kate. And I hope that you're all having a wonderful week. So everyone be healthy and be safe out there. Take care.